I also wish to welcome the presence of the Observer of Palestine. Abject cruelty. Boundless inhumanity. That is what Hamas embodies. The unbearable images that we've seen in recent days showing Israeli hostages held in Gaza, together with your testimony, Mr. David, remind us of horrifying images. France denounces these vile methods and condemns the cruel treatment inflicted on hostages by Hamas and by Islamic Jihad. We think with emotion of your brother, Evatai David, of Rom Braslavsky, and of all of the hostages still being held, as well as their families and loved ones who have been plunged into this nightmare for over 660 days now. Their ordeal must come to an end. We also think of all of the hostages who've perished in appalling conditions, including French nationals. France remains in solidarity with the families of all hostages and with the Israeli people in the face of the barbaric acts committed by Hamas since the 7th of October 2023. Mr. President, the immediate release of all hostages is an absolute priority for France. We continue to work tirelessly to secure their unconditional release and the return of the remains of the hostages who died in Gaza. We will continue to act to restore the ceasefire without delay and to enable the large-scale delivery of humanitarian aid which remains blocked at Gaza's gates. France reiterates the urgent need for Israel to open all crossing points and to allow immediate, large-scale and unimpeded access for humanitarian assistance. Alarmed by the scale of the humanitarian catastrophe, France, alongside several other countries, has carried out an airdrop of non-perishable food supplies over Gaza. This is an emergency measure to save lives, but it cannot replace the need for massive land-based humanitarian access. These efforts must be accompanied by a political resolution based on the two-state solution, the only realistic path to lasting peace. This solution requires the recognition of a sovereign Palestinian state with renewed governance. It also requires the total demilitarization of Hamas and its complete exclusion from any form of governance in the Gaza Strip. Finally, it requires Israel's regional integration. France welcomes the historic gesture made last week in New York by Arab countries during the International Conference on the Implementation of the Two-State Solution, co-chaired with Saudi Arabia, when for the first time they condemned Hamas's crimes and expressed their aspiration to establish relations with the State of Israel. This is how we will break the cycle of violence and reopen the path to peace in the Middle East. It is the only possible path to a future where justice, security, and dignity can be guaranteed for all peoples of the region. Thank you.